Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to Animaking 2. And today I'm going to be giving you part 45 of What If Izuna Uchiha was Naruto Ancestor. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual, share this to all of your friends on your social media platform. And also go ahead and check out the new series, What If Naruto was a high schooler over an Anime King, and I enjoyed that guys. I also posted a new episode of What If Naruto was banished and gathered all the Jinchurikis. Go ahead and check out that, and I do hope that you guys enjoy. And also, remember, if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice and you enjoy the videos on both Anime King and Anime King 2, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support. And remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be replying and talking back to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, let's begin this new episode. Start the intro.
I think the girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. I think the girls with their
So, the last time we left off, Shino was shocked to see the Emperor back on his feet as they started negotiations. As Shino will hand over all of Naruto's soldiers if Naruto get married to Kurenai. As Naruto was taken back by that, as Shino knew that Kurenai was the only one the rebels trusted, so with her having power, that meant the rebels won't be mistreated, the ones who surrender won't be taken granted for. As Naruto was sitting there thinking about things, as Shino was going to give his life on the battlefield to slow down the enemy forces so the rebels can escape. As he ended the video feed, as Kurenai didn't want to put Naruto through so many stress, Naruto went to visit Haku as he had to tell her what is going on. But Haku was angry at him, hearing that she thought that this is what he wanted all along, to be with her, as Haku lost her cool. As Naruto was keeping calm, but he finally snapped as he started to shout and get angry at her. After all their years of marriage, he has never been disloyal or anything to her, and yet he was coming to her to try and find a way out of this. But she believed the worst in him, not even deciding to believe in his way first. No, she took everything before that. As Naruto was angry at her, as Haku shuddered under his glare, as he was really pissed off as he left the room. As the entire palace had heard about the argument that happened between them, as Kurenai was surprised when she was called to Haku's room, as the both of them started to talk, as Haku apologized, as she knew that Naruto will always have love for her, but she might have pushed it this time, and he's really angry at her. Sasuke managed to calm down Naruto though, as Gaara came back to the group. As they find a way, they will have to have two emperors. There will be a main family with Haku and Naruto newborn son being the prince, and with Kurenai family being the branch family, but they will still be in the royal family, so she would have enough power. So the rebellions doesn't have to worry about being mistreated. Meanwhile, Shino was on the battlefield with his soldiers beside him, ready to hold off the army that he knew he was going to die from. But Shino was stopped by fear as the entire ground was shaking, as he looked to see 150,000 soldiers, as Shino couldn't believe it that all of them were marching towards the Empire. Meanwhile, Tobi stood as he was looking over the Empire, as Black Zetsu appeared and told him that their acquaintance is inside. As Tobi chuckled, that man managed to get in without anyone noticing, along with few of his experiments. As Tobi pressed something at his ear, it was a comm, as he told them to begin the strike. So yeah guys, that was basically the last part we left off. You guys can switch across the place and check it out for yourself, so let's start this new episode. We got invaders in War 24. District Mao has been rocked by many explosions. Enemy force fighting across the entire capital. Civilian and military casualties rising. The highest leaders of the Reich and the government head could only listen to the reports, their eyes fixed on their emperor, who was looking through the window observing his burning capital. There was a sheet of paper in his hand, an emergency message from the frontier. So, it has begun, Naruto said. He could see the fear, the anxiousness, the anger in his eyes of the people. Your Highness, the Empress has gone into labor. Everyone was surprised on hearing the news, as they saw a bittersweet smile appear on the Emperor's face. Naruto walked over as he pulled off his jacket, off the hook and put it on. Emperor, what are you doing? Kakashi asked. I am doing what every emperor must do in the event of an attack on their nation, Naruto said. But don't compare this event to the one in the past, Naruto stopped him. The stakes are too high this time. It is not one village but the entire humanity itself. The future of our race and the fall of our Reich is at stake now, Naruto said, as he put on his face mask, making him look like a copy of Kakashi. Sasuke stepped beside Naruto as both of them looked over the capital together. This is it, Sasuke said seriously. Well, my brother, this will be the last battle we share, Naruto said, with a smirk under his mask. We have fought our entire life, either against each other or together against the entire world. Nothing would please me more but to rest this sword of mine, Sasuke said, his hand tightening on the hilt of his blade. The preparations that I ordered, Naruto asked. Done, said Sasuke. Are you sure you want to commit everything? Yes, hold the front lines until I arrive. Can you do that? They won't get through us, Emperor. I promise you that, said Sasuke, as Naruto nodded. Good, follow the plan, avoid combat, and send our troops in the battle unless I command. We have not just made those countermeasures for a fancy show. We will show those rebels who they're up against, said Naruto. He was a bit surprised though when Sasuke bit his lip. I have two requests I want you to grant, said Sasuke. Speak, said Naruto. Sakura is pregnant, Sasuke said. As Naruto's eyes widened at that news, he wasn't expecting that. But then again, Sasuke wasn't wanting to share too much of his personal life. I would say congratulations, but no is not the time. Let me guess. You don't want me to place her in the heat of the battle, Naruto asked. Yes, Sasuke said. Then I'll make sure she takes commands over the medical stations. Treat our war wounded. She's the best medical after Tsunade. I cannot let her talents go to such a waste at a gruesome time like this. Do you understand? I do. And I have one more request. Seeing that your own son is going to be born tonight, I hereby forfeit the Uchiha name, Sasuke said. As Naruto seemed shocked, but Sasuke raised his hand before Naruto could say anything. I represent the violent past of the Uchiha. With your dynasty, they will get a good name in history. Besides, there can't be two important people having the same surname. It will only confuse the citizen and put their loyalties in jeopardy. I want to start a new fresh family that is devoid of the darkness past of the Uchiha clan, Sasuke said. Are you really sure about this? Naruto asked in a concerned voice. I have made my decision, Sasuke said. Very well then. I will grant them both, Naruto said. Anything else, brother? He asked. Sasuke looked over the empire that was burning. If I don't make it back, I want you to look after my silence, Naruto cut him off. I, Emperor Naruto, commands you to survive. Wars are not won by dying. It is won by making the other son of a bitch die, Naruto said. Seeing the fire burning in Naruto's eyes, Sasuke gave a small nod as he smiled. As long as they stick together, they can win. Even in these grim situations, the Reich will come victorious. Naruto then turned as Hinata and Hanari came into the room. Why are you two dressed in ninja gears? I thought you wanted to quit the ninja life, Naruto asked. Both women smiled as Hanari stepped beside Kakashi and Hinata stepped beside Sasuke. A warrior always returns home one day, said Hinata. For us, this family has always been our home. No matter what, we want to fight beside our loved ones, Hanari said, grasping her husband's hand. Before Naruto could say anything else, Gurren entered the war room along with his son 4 as she gave him a salute. As Anko came in as well, surprising Naruto. I have always not made the right decision in my life, and despite everything, you have done a lot for me, Naruto. I still don't believe in the system of the Reich, but I believe in you. All my life, you're a little brother to me. Yes, I was pissed when you betrayed the village, but I want to fight for you in this hour of the need. I want to repay all the love, all the mercy that you have shown towards me. Let me fight at your side, Uncle requests. As Naruto looked down at her, as Naruto grasped her shoulders, as Kakashi gave Naruto a firm nod, as she got back to her feet. Welcome back, sister, Naruto said, as he gave her a warm hug, as tears started to fall out of her eyes. Thank you, she said. Suddenly, the large stream came active as Shino's face was being shown on it. It seems you're a damn lucky man, Shino, Naruto said. Well, fate seemed to have other plans for me. It won't allow me to die an honorable death, Shino said. So what are you gonna do now? You did send me the warning regarding the invading army. Does that mean you're ready to serve me, Naruto asked. Tell me something, Emperor. Would you pardon me if I defend the right in this crucial hour, Shino asked. Naruto took a deep breath as all eyes focused on him. He then spoke, if your actions are worthy of saving the life of my subjects, then I will pardon you of all your crimes and give you a position in my army, Naruto said. Then I am at your command, main Emperor, said Shino, as he gave a bow. Take command of the Black Lancers, observe each movement of the enemy, and report them to headquarters. My officer will be arriving very soon to take commands. You will follow their orders. And Shino, I know that you're not an idiot. So I suggest that you remain true to your word, or else I will kill all of your men and make you watch Naruto threaten him. You have my word, Kaiser, both as a friend and a soldier. We will see, Naruto said. As the feed was ended, as everyone turned towards him again, as Sasuke was nearly on the verge to explode, that man almost killed him. I know what you guys are thinking, but we need every armed fighters we have. That doesn't mean that I trust him, Naruto said. What are your orders? Asked Kakashi seriously. Sasuke, Gaara, go to the front line and take command of our army. Sasuke, and placing Shino under your leadership, keep an eye on him. Yes, Emperor, Boatman said. Tsunade. Yes, Emperor, Tsunade said. Take command over the front line medical units. Sakura Haruno would remain in the rear and lead the medical stations. Save as many as you can. Reduce the suffering of those you cannot save, and kill anyone that gets in your way, Naruto said. It shall be done, Emperor, said Tsunade. Kakashi, you're a veteran warrior and I trust your instincts. I'm appointing you as Supreme Commander over all of our forces. You will stay in the rear and guide Sasuke, Gaara, along with Shino as well. Maintain communication and order amongst our forces, and try to avoid engaging the enemy until I arrive. Can you do that for me, Naruto said. It shall be done, Emperor. Gurren, I want you to take control of the Reich soldiers inside of the capital and repel the invaders. Do not disappoint me, Naruto said. Yes, sir, she said. Teiwaya, Drobo, Seikon, Ukon, Kidamaru. Evacuate Subject 0 and Alpha to the secret location. Take the entire Royal Guard with you, Naruto said. But, Emperor, wouldn't that leave you defenseless? Asked Teiwaya. I can take care of myself, now carry out my orders, Naruto said, as all of them nodded. Hanari, take control over the civilian government. Control the people and keep order, with the help of the ministers and the local police. Shelter the refugees and take them to safe bunkers. Protect the women, children, and old people at all costs, Naruto said. I will not fail you, Emperor, she said. As Naruto coughed a bit, as everyone looked at him a bit concerned, but he waved him off with a smile. He then turned towards Hinata and Uncle. I want you two to be on my personal guard, along with a few other soldiers. We will give direction to others and clear out this capital from the enemy troops. After that, we will head towards the front line. Understood? All of them nodded as Naruto went over as he took out a sealed box and unlocked his most powerful weapon. As he strapped the rising jacker on his waist, as he started to walk forward as strange marks appear on his wrists. Impossible, said Kakashi and Tsunade at the same time, but they were not given time to explain, as all of the orders were set out to be done. Meanwhile, Kurenai was waiting, as the doctors wouldn't let her go inside, as the Empress was in there giving birth. She wondered what Naruto was doing right now. As she said that, she saw Anko and Hinata coming from around the corner with few other soldiers. As Naruto was there leading them, Naruto walked up to Kurenai. How is she? He asked. She's as fine as any woman undergoing labor can be. But before he said anything, she grabbed him and pulled him in a warm hug. It's gonna be alright, she said. I'm heading out soon enough, Naruto said. She broke the hug and looked at him, as things were really dangerous out there, but she knew he would never Let his troops fight alone. That was the man that he was. I will join you as soon as possible first. I'll make sure the Empress and the Prince get to safety, said Kurenai with a smile. Thank you for everything, Kurenai, Naruto said, as he said it with a mysterious tone. Before she could say anything else, he got on one knee, as he pulled a ring out. Despite what I told the others, the situation is quite grim out there, but I have to show a positive side to them. But it is possible that I may not return, Naruto said. No, Kurenai said. You cannot die out there, she said to him. You're right, Kurenai. Would you marry me, he asked, without responding to her statement. She kneeled down as she planted a kiss on his lips. She took the ring from him, but she did not put it on. I will hold on to this for you. Marry me and be a father to our child when you return. As Naruto fell even more in love with her, as she was willing to accept Haku's son as her own. This ring will be our promise. I have lost you too many times, and I cannot go through that again. No matter what, you must survive, not just for me, Haku, our son, but all of our comrades and the soldiers. For this right, for everything, you must live, Kurenai said. Yeah, Naruto said in a low tone, but she grabbed his collar as she glared at him dangerously. All of us have placed our life, our fate, our future into you. Be worthy of that trust, Naruto, she shouted. I will, Naruto said, as he then gave her a passionate kiss. I love you, he said. I love you too, she said. Time skip. Haku was sweating and she felt extremely tired, but she was extremely happy as the baby cry filled her ears. A few seconds later, the doors blown open, shocking the hell out of everyone. Sakura walked forward as she bumped Naruto in the head for scaring them all like that. Haku laughed on seeing the funny scene as Sakura gave a few more bumps to her friend and scolded him. As after Kurenai came in, Naruto got away as he rushed over to Haku. Are you okay? He asked. You look like you just delivered a child instead of me, said Haku with a tease, as Naruto went up and kissed her. Don't scare me like this again, okay? Naruto said, as she smiled. She could see that he was fully dressed for battle. The only reason he stayed behind was for her and their child's sake. Her fear increased as she knew the mayhem that awaited him, but he held her hand firmly. It will be alright, Naruto said. I promise. They were interrupted when that crying sound increased, and it was coming near towards them. As Naruto turned around to see Kurenai carrying a small bundle in her arms, as Sakura was also beside her, as both ladies gave bright smiles to Haku. As Naruto wanted to see the baby, but Kurenai glared at him, and then Sakura blocked his path. It's courtesy for the mother to see the baby first, Kurenai said, as Haku took the baby and kissed it on the forehead, as Naruto quickly went around them as he saw the baby. As he had black hair like his mother, but his facial image was just like his father's. As the baby was still crying and he seemed rather uncomfortable, Naruto raised his hand and poked the baby on the forehead, and he stopped crying as he opened his dark eyes as he tried to reach out towards his father's hand, but he was failing. He's so tiny, Naruto said. Is this the first time you're seeing a just born infant? Asked Sakura, as Naruto poked the baby on the forehead again, making him smile. Yeah, Naruto said. Haku watched the little baby as the baby was trying to get out of her arms, as she realized how anxious their son was to go towards his father. As Haku then looked towards Naruto and gestured for him to take the baby, as he slowly moved and held the baby, as small tears slipped from Naruto's eyes. I finally understand what you mean, father. Maybe being a dad won't be so bad, Naruto thought. Before coming in here, he had doubts about being a father, that he would be a bad one, he wouldn't know if he would be a good one, but all of that erased the moment he saw his son, as he couldn't understand what just changed in these few moments. Naruto, Kurenai said, breaking him out of his emotional trance. Did you say something? Naruto said. Haku asked if you have a name decided for the prince, said Sakura, as Naruto started to rub the back of his head, holding the child with his one arm firmly. Yang, he said, as all of them blinked in surprise. Till simple name, they expected something big or grand, but one look in his eyes explained why the child got that name. The light deciphered Haku. The sun thought Sakura. The fire thought Kurenai. The child was a symbol of the future to come, the unending light that the Emperor wanted to shine over the right and all the young children to come. Young Uchiha, Naruto said happily. As Naruto was surprised, the entire room erupted in applause as everyone kneeled before him and his son. One after another, each and every person joined in on the celebration. Your father loves you very much, Naruto said, as he smiled at the little baby boy. Time skip, Naruto was wiping away the happy tears after saying goodbye to his wife and his son. Despite the happy celebration, there was still a war going on, and the people out there needed him. You did good today, Kurenai said as she came out with him. Emperor! Emperor! Uncle said as she rushed up to Naruto as she was huffing. Calm down, Uncle, Naruto said. What's wrong? There are strange monsters attacking our people in Area 20. The soldiers have been wiped out. Reinforcements will take time to reach that area, she said. Order Hinata to prepare our squad. We will personally wipe out those freaks, Naruto said. Yes, sir, said Uncle as she gave a quick smile to Kurenai as she rushed away to do her orders. I'll get Haku and Yang to safety. Then I'll come to help you. Hang on until then, Kurenai said. As a smirk came on Naruto's face as he started to walk away. Who do you think I am, he said. Time skip, Naruto was marching with over 200 soldiers, with Hinata and Anko beside him. And strangely enough, there was a rainbow over the capital. It is so beautiful, said Hinata. You still like rainbow? Kids, the uncle said, shaking her head, making Hinata blush nervously. Well, this one is one of the most beautiful I ever seen in my life, Hinata said. While it is beautiful and a symbol of nature's pride, rainbows are also referred as a symbol of a snake, Naruto said. Uncle sent a hidden command that the Emperor just gave her. Shields, Uncle said, as the Reich soldiers all brought out their shields, as a hail of kunai and shurikens rained down on them. Rotation, Hinata said, she blew away all of them, as Naruto simply stood there. An invisible force of wind just blew away all the weapons that would have impaled him. As Naruto saw the scene on the 20th floor, most of his young soldiers, they were not killed. They were ripped apart from the inside out, as most of his young soldiers with him started to puke. Even Hinata couldn't help it. A few moments later, growls could be heard as several dark monsters in the dark alleyway opened their eyes, as several monsters surrounded the entire group from all sides, as they were extremely ugly and have hideous human bodies, and they all had the hidden curse seals, Uncle said, as she clenched her fist in anger, as all of them dashed towards Naruto, but Naruto simply raised his right hand. Disappear, trash, as they watched as razor sharp blades of wind just tear through all of the monsters, turn them into small tiny pieces of meat. They didn't have the time to scream or their eyes to open in horror. They just vanished from this planet in a flash. The Emperor is in a really bad mood, Hinata said, as she could see the angry, twisted look on his face. Uncle, Naruto said. Yes, Emperor. It seems like today is the day you will have your revenge. Upon hearing that, Uncle heard a familiar laugh. It's you, she said. It's been a long time, Uncle, said Orochimaru as he stepped out of the dark alleyway. His menacing dark eyes make a few of the Reich soldiers took a step back. So the snake finally returns, Naruto said. I apologize for my delay, Emperor. I just didn't want to disappoint you the next time I return. Naruto stopped this man from doing anything reckless because he wanted to charge in. Oh, so you have an entire army of puppets now. You seem to have taken after me, Orochimaru said. Is that why you got your ass kicked last time, despite having an army of puppets, Naruto asked. Despite being a famous snake Sani, Naruto said, as Orochimaru narrowed his eyes dangerously at him. That made Naruto smile. I underestimated you before, Naruto, Orochimaru said, as Naruto raised one of his eyebrows in surprise. Oh? And what makes you think your chances are better this time? Well, I've come prepared this time. You stayed underground for 4 years. Why even bother coming up? Are you trying to aid the resistance? Orochimaru chuckled. Those fools are the biggest pawn in this game. But, on your case, I want to teach a fool like you a lesson. People like you are a bane to science and develop on humanity. You're an obstacle onto the path of complete knowledge. Oh, and does that involve experimenting on humans? You sick twisted freak, Naruto said. It doesn't matter what you say now. After eliminating you, I will rule over this nation. I'll put all of your resources to good use. You're not using them well anyway. What make you think that will happen? As long as we have the Emperor with us, you and your snake freaks and your lackeys can't do crap, Anko said. Naruto-kun is stronger than you, Orochimaru, said Hinata. I don't doubt that. He's a super weapon, made of the best raw materials. Even the entire might of the ninja world couldn't defeat him. You wanna know why, dear Hinata? Said Orochimaru. It's because those fools think that they can get his fear from the living. But his fear actually lies with the dead, Orochimaru said. As Naruto fist clenched as Orochimaru slammed his hands together, as 5 coffins rose from the ground. I spent the last 4 years preparing for this. Your Emperor is a strong warrior, but he has certain fears when it comes to certain people. The ones who he got killed. The ones who he couldn't save, Orochimaru said. The deaths that he still holds himself responsible for, Orochimaru said. The door to the coffins dropped open as Hinata and the others watched as Naruto stepped back. A shocked expression on his face as his arms, his entire body was trembling. As Anko shivered in fear as the first person stepped outside to be Hoshirama Senju, the second to be Tobirama Senju. Both great, one-time leaders seemed to be looking at the army in front of them and curious at the boy who seemed to be the leader of this army. But Naruto's gaze wasn't fixed on them. He was looking at the last 3. The first 2 recognized him instantly and gave him happy smiles. It's been a while, Naruto, Shin said. You gotten so old, Naruto Sai said, as he saw the terrified look on Naruto's face. The last person stepped out of the coffin, made Naruto collapse to his knees as tears started to leak from his eyes. Yes, that's the look. Fear, despair. Face your darkest past, Orochimaru yelled. The youngest person blinked a few times, trying to recognize the man, when her memories finally kicked in. Captain Naruto. Naruto's heart shattered into millions of pieces upon hearing that voice. The one he heard every night, the one he longed to hear, and the one he missed the most. Oblivious to all of them, this person was the one person that started everything. The destruction of the nation, the rise of the empire, everything, as Naruto looked at his daughter, Ren. Meanwhile, on the other battlefield, what the hell, Shino said, as a wall towered over everything in front of him. This is my special creation, said Karen. No ninja would be able to cross this wall, she said. The chakra they used will be turned against them. When a ninja touches this wall, it will absorb a portion of their chakra and return it back to them in a violent shock. No human can scale this wall either with or without chakra. I promise you that, Karen said. As Shino saw some new machines being mounted upwards, pointing over the wall as he didn't even know what those things were. A few toys I created over the years. They're quite deadly, Karen said. As Shino couldn't believe they were already prepared for this. But he just hoped that he can withstand the 150,000 soldiers. Meanwhile, there was silence in the 20th area, except for Orochimaru laughing, as he finally calmed himself with a mad smile on his face, as he saw the panic on the soldiers' faces to see their emperor on his knees. Sai curiously looked over towards the little girl that made Naruto cry, as he gasped in shock to see her. All those years ago, it was her. Except for being Konoha Shinobi. Right now, all of them right here has one thing in common. They were all dead, so that means she must be dead as well. Was Naruto not able to save her that night? Oh my god, Sai said in shock. What's wrong, Sai? Why is Naruto crying? And why is he dressed in that strange outfit? Said Shin. As Sai closed his eyes, he realized what might have happened after his death. Ren was the last straw that tied Naruto to the ninja world. If she was gone too, then his friend would only have one way left. A world of victors, a world of peace, a world of love. I will create that world. For Sai, for Shin, for all of you. The promise that Naruto made all those years ago were finally fulfilled. Although Sai didn't want Naruto to go through that pain again. And thus, despite Shin's question, he wordlessly walked towards the trembling Naruto. Orochimaru frowned as he made a hand sign, making Sai stop. But Sai clenched his fist. As to Orochimaru's shock, what Orochimaru said as the boy was walking again. Beside him, Tobirama was also shocked. Never before had he seen someone overcome his jutsu. He could see Sai's movements were getting slower and slower, as the boy was giving it all he had, as Orochimaru had his both hands slammed together to regain control over the boy. Anko stepped in front of Naruto to protect him. As Naruto stepped in front of Naruto, Orochimaru stepped in front of Naruto to protect him. Anko stepped in front of Naruto to protect him. Anko stepped in front of Naruto to protect him. But Sai collapsed on his knees as his eyes were changing from the light to nothingness. As he was definitely fighting, as he crawled to Naruto, Naruto saw that as he rushed over to Sai, trembling form. Sai, I protect your dream, Sai said. Hinata was surprised when all the trembling stopped coming from Naruto, as a small smile came on his lips. Whatever happens, I'll free you. I promise you this, Naruto said in a serious tone. Sai smiled. Wake me up when this is over, he said, stuttering. With those words, the light disappeared from his eyes, as his body went still, as a cruel smile came on Orochimaru's lips. But Naruto made a hand sign as he trapped Sai's body in a wooden coffin, surprising Senju's brothers. As Naruto placed a seal on the coffin as he got to his feet. As Naruto took off his coat and placed it down on the coffin, as he gave a gentle salute to his friend. As Naruto gave a nod toward Shin, as Shin just smiled at him, no words were needed. As Naruto gazed, looked over to Ren for one moment. As he suppressed all of his emotions, he traveled it into one thing. He pushed all of his emotion into one thing, the grief, the pain, everything. Utter rage. As Naruto Mangekyo Sharingan spin to life, as he gave Orochimaru the most deadliest glare anyone has ever seen. You're dead, Naruto said. As Orochimaru was pissed, while Sai may have not been strong enough to fight against Naruto, he could have been used as a shield, and he then could have easily used the Senju brothers to end the Emperor's life. Mokitan, said Tobirama in shock. Who are you, boy? Asked Hoshirama. The heir to Hashirama, Naruto said, descendant of Izuna Uchiha, and the son of Minato Namikaze, the fourth Hokage, and most of all, the first emperor of the Reich. The invaders had all different types of shock on their faces. Hashirama? That Hashirama? An Izuna descendant? That means he's Madara, Hoshirama thought in horror, as he could see the face of his dead best friend glaring at him from the afterlife. The fourth Hokage's son? Thought Tobirama in surprise. Just how many Hokages reign over Konoha? Emperor? Thought Shin in shock, as Ren didn't understand what the hell was going on. As Orochimaru saw the look in Naruto's eyes, he needed something. His original plan to kill Naruto in guilt had gone haywire. Yes, but he's not just those things. He's also the murderer of Hiruzen, Sarutobi, the destroyer of Fire Nation. Hashirama, Tobirama, don't be fooled by his young innocent face. He's the emperor who destroyed the shinobi world, and right now is now ruling over it, Orochimaru said. As Anko nearly pissed her pants when Hoshirama's smile disappeared, as it was replaced by an ice-cold glare. You killed Saru? Asked Hoshirama in despair. You destroyed Konoha? You Uchiha brat! I'll end you right now, yelled Tobirama. As Shin and Ren was sent flying away as a violent amount of chakra exploded outwards from Tobirama's body as he charged at Naruto. But if he thought he was just going to end it here, he was sadly mistaken. All of the Reich soldiers were blown away, including Anko, as Naruto flared his own chakra, as he sent Tobirama from where he was coming from. As Tobirama was shocked on being pushed back so fearsomely. Only two persons ever done that before. One was his own elder brother standing beside him, and the other. It was a bad omen to whisper that man's name, and looking at this boy in front of him made him feel that dark feeling again. Unknown to the two furious leaders, their chakra had risen to a dangerous level. All of the Reich soldiers are in fear of dying from heart attack. Even Ren. And Shin's body was cracking from the pressure. In a move that surprised Tobirama, his brother placed his hand on his shoulder, stopping his chakra. Elder brother, what the hell are you doing? Tobirama said. Tobi, don't harm young children in your rage, said Hoshirama as he pointed towards Ren. Tobirama flinched for a second as Naruto's eyes widened in pain as he saw what he was putting his own soldiers through, and the pain that Shin and Ren was in as well. As Naruto quickly appeared in front of his daughter and looked at her straight in the eyes as she was biting her lip, as her eyes were flickering away. Naruto, stop us before it's too late, Shin said, as Orochimaru was trying to take their consciousness away. Not this time, Naruto said, as he sealed away both Shin and Ren's body as he placed them in coffin and put seals on the surface. Rest for now. I will save you this time, Naruto said, a smile on his face. Hoshirama relaxed as he saw the enemy, saving those two young children. The man who called himself the Emperor must have connection with those children. He also saw the same look in Naruto's eye that Madara had for his brother Izuna. But it seems like Naruto loved that little girl even more. As Naruto made few of his soldiers carry away the coffins. Protect them at all costs, Naruto said, as he received a nod from Uncle. We will protect them with our life, Uncle said. But wouldn't that leave you against those on your own? This is the battle I must fight on my own, Naruto said. But before that, he said, as Uncle understood that she made a hasty retreat, as the other soldiers went off with her with the 3 coffins, the last of Naruto's weakness. I wish to speak with you, said Hoshirama. Enough of this, said Orochimaru. Attack him now! In an instant, Tobirama's eyes went pale as all of the life drained away as he rushed towards Naruto, but vines break from the ground and wrapped around Tobirama, stopping him. In an instant, Hoshirama appeared in front of Orochimaru. As Orochimaru could now understand why this man was called God of Shinobis, as he stood there in shock, as the man delivered a punch that made Orochimaru's head twist around, as Orochimaru's body was sent sailing and crashing into a wall. Nobody messes with my brother but me, said Hoshirama. If Orochimaru was a normal human, he would have been dead by now, but the man was a walking experiment. Naruto, be careful. This guy may look like a goofy idiot, but he kept mine and Madara ass together, even when we were using our full powers, Kurama said, as he was quite nervous on facing this tree hugger again after so many decades. If something scared the mighty Kurama, then it must be a great concern to him. And just watch someone like Orochimaru being slapped away like a fly made him knew how strong this man was. As the tension was high until Hoshirama laughed. I guess I went overboard, he said. As Naruto faced palm on the ground, as Hoshirama laughed more. What the hell are you, old man, Naruto said. Till this day he believed that him and Minato were the goofy silly ones. But it seems that they were not. Were they Kyuubi's Jinchuriki? And Uzumaki as well, Hoshirama said, surprising Naruto. How do you... Well, I'm the first Hokage, he said, as he had a smile on his face. Why are you not attacking me like your brother? Everything Orochimaru said was true, except for me being a tyrant. As the smile vanished from Hoshirama's face, as an immense pain was in his eyes as he looked towards Naruto. Konoha is truly gone? Saruto, he said. Yes, Naruto said. Why? Hoshirama asked. Will knowing the reason change anything, Naruto asked. I know a loyal ninja when I see one. You're an honorable man, Hoshirama, but you're too naive, just like my past self, Naruto said, making Hoshirama smile. You're so much like him. It's quite scary. Huh? Naruto said. You remind me of Madara, Hoshirama said. But guys, if you any tips right here, if you want to see the next part of this, you already know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn that bell notification to stay posted. Remember, share to all of your friends and your social media platform. And yeah, that's it for tonight, guys. I'm going to be giving you What If Naruto was sent to the Marvel World tomorrow. Sorry about that, but it's going to be early tomorrow, guys. So I hope you enjoy. But for now, I'm out of here. Peace.